Hi, it's me, Franklin, and here I am with a little bit of a late roundup for week 3. With the test last week, I kind of, this unfortunately fell off my plate, but you know what? Better late than never. So, week 3 was kind of a little bit of a chaotic week in terms of classes and stuff. We had an in-person class on Tuesday. Monday was a holiday. On Wednesday, we had an asynchronous pre-recorded lecture. And then Thursday, we had another in-person lecture. And then on Friday, we had our term test. Let's take a look at the learning outcomes from week 3. And then we will, take a look at these learning outcomes. So the first two were about software design. And this is something that we started in the previous week, in week 2. So define the interface to an abstract data type and define the implementation of an ADT with a private data structure. The way that we've been doing this in the last couple of weeks has been around the strings example that we've been doing in class. So we've defined an interface. We've done things now like using header guards to prevent our interface from being included multiple times. We've defined the data type such that it is hiding the way that it's implemented. So we've got that type def in our header file. And then we have the actual structure definition in the C file that we've implemented. And then around all of this, we've been going through and using different sets of commands to compile these things. You will expect to be assessed on these two learning outcomes in a couple of different ways. One is going to be on assignments. So on assignment 1, we weren't really doing anything with data types, but with assignment 2, you're going to be building the private data structure to represent an ADT. I'm not expecting you to define the interface for this right now, but you may expect to see that in assignment 3, and you should expect to see this in the final exam. Defining the implementation, you're being assessed on that in assignment 2, 100%. You can expect to see something like this on the final exam as well. So given an interface, or build me an interface, make sure that only public things are in the interface, and then show me what that private data structure looks like if you implemented it in a certain way. The other parts of what we were doing this past week were designed by contract. And there were 3 things that we were doing in design by contract. Define the pre and post conditions for a routine, define the invariants that encapsulate the valid states of an ADT, use preconditions, postconditions, and invariants to validate the runtime behavior of an ADT being used in an application. So this is very much about pre and post conditions. So what are the assumptions that we've got about inputs that are being provided to us? What are the assumptions that we've got about what we're going to give back? So what are we telling someone they can assume about what we're going to return to them from a function? And if we have an object or an ADT, an abstract data type, what kinds of things are we going to use to say that this is a valid state for that abstract data type? In the strings example, we were looking at things like a valid state for the string is that it has a null byte at the length. These are something that we're going to say that internally this is what a valid representation of a string is. Invariants are something that you can use as part of pre and post conditions. If you're returning something to someone that's using your library, you want to make sure that what they give back to you on subsequent operations is still a valid thing. So it's a precondition that you'd want to expect that to be valid as input. You're going to give them back a valid ADT. So you want to use that precondition or that invariant as part of the post condition. You're going to be assessed on this in several different ways. So as you saw on the term test last week, this was one of the ways that you were being assessed. You're going to be assessed on this on your assignment for assignment 2, and you will be assessed on this for assignment 3. You can also expect to see this again on the final exam, either as a programming question or kind of similar to what we did on the term test. But the question, of course, will be different. It'll be about a different ADT. The format of the question might be a little bit different. So that's it for the learning outcomes for week 3. I hope that you had a great weekend. Again, sorry this is a little bit later, but you know, it is what it is, and I'll see you pretty soon. Bye.